So you work on the first floor, Matthew?
No, well,
So what has Southern Spar's Brains Trust come up for the repair? Okay.
we want you to grind away the paint here, put
Yep.
some carbon cloth twill in there, and then get rid of the rest of this. Put some double bias on both sides, and then she should be good to go.
Thank you, Matthew, and thank your work colleagues for their time.
No worries.
Granddad's already here. I'll have a new weapon to use on the chain plate to sand between the prongs. Granddad's reading the instructions to see if I did it right. Well, I've used my new tool, some would say toy, to clean in here, which we're going to put some carbon tape and plain weave. Need to clean the paint off the rest of the main body of it. And filler. Right, well, we're sanding it back to the carbon fibre without affecting it too much. The pale stuff, I'm sure, is Featherlight filler. The darker stuff is micro balloons. So we'll start the job of reinforcing it. I've got Grandad sanding the new wood trim. I think we can say that the rain is persisting down. We have our lake back. I'm going to fill in the recesses with carbon tape rather than filler, and then we'll run the double bias over the top. Well, we've filled the recesses with carbon tape, and down in here around the corner. Hopefully the Carbon Fibre Design Engineer is happy with that. Still raining hard. Well, we've had a lull in the rain, hopefully it's clearing. We can now do something about this slapping halyard. That was actually the topping lift. Oh, that'll do the job. Well away from the mast now. Luckily I had the foresight to bring the chain plate home last night. Well, it seems to have done the job. Managed to get the carbon around the angle, that bit off to the sides, sitting in mid-air. Well, after a bit of sand, it looks pretty good. Now I have some double bias carbon. Well, look at that. It must have been cut to size years ago. I even found some peel ply on a winner. Right, well, proof of concept. Don't have a vacuum bag, but this tape should do. So, flow media. peel ply, double bias, chain plate. Oh, I still have some HT 9000 Epiglass or International. Well, the hardener pump's not working, but I do have some West. I'll use that, but no pumps. Oh, I've put a layer of double bias glass on top, sacrificial sanding layer. I know it doesn't look like it's thoroughly wetted, but once it goes into vacuum compaction, I'm sure it will be. It's quite cold, so the resin's not flowing that well. Peel ply, flow media, it's to soak up the excess resin. Right, it's actually sucking down. Well, there's a slight leak just here, which we'll patch with some more tape. Otherwise, it looks successful. I've got a bit of resin coming through into the flow media, otherwise known as a microfiber towel, exactly as we would expect. The resin's starting to gel in the pot, but certainly still quite unset in the smaller areas. I've had it sitting in the sun to get a bit warm, so let's have a look. Well, it looks alright to me. We'll drill the holes out so we can find them. Well, we'll do this side. It's been quite cold, so I managed to find a heater. Hard to do these days. We've all got heat pumps upstairs, and we just need the resin. Well, the resin's warmed up. Don't look too hot, it will go off. So let's get started. My mate Stuart found me a tiny wee bit of blue tack, which has sealed things better. So we've only just sealed the bag up. You can see the resin, which was warmer than yesterday's, flowing into the flow media much quicker. I've got the fan back on, as long as it doesn't weaken the bag too much. Things should go off a bit quicker. Oh, I popped a slot mill just on a dual drill chuck and cleaned up the bushes, including going through that carbon. I'll drill the holes for the mounting, and we're a bit short on sanders, but we'll start trying to get a finish on this. We'll see how we go with this. Most of the power tools are at the boat, which I'm not allowed to go to at the moment. It's been rough sanded and making up new packing pieces. So the current one's still on the boat somewhere. Well, we've got the wooden packers in big smear of Featherlight. So it'll need some sanding and then further filling, but it should be a start. Yeah, it has gone off. It's slow hardener. I ran out of fast. The trouble is it has tendency to rip the ends off the sanding paper, so I've cannibalised a sanding belt, which is much tougher. We'll see if that lasts a bit longer. We are getting there. More Featherlight all sides. It's resting on a silicone mat, so it won't stick. Should leave the bottom or the inside surface hopefully fairly fair. Obviously mixed up too much, but we can spot the exothermic reaction going on as the resin cooks off. And here with these bubbles, you can probably see it swelling even as we watch. So a bit of a waste. Well, it's certainly very light, aerated, honeycombed, bubbled Featherlight. Well, nothing like a bit of heat to kick the resin off, so it's certainly off. I've been sanding on this flat board and we're getting there. So this side's flat, goes against the hull. This other side just needs to look pretty.